All right, guys, welcome today. Looks like we're sitting at 38 degrees. Ooh, we're good and full. All right, welcome, guys. This is Dwayne Evans with the Plunge Cast. To remind you, today is a new day, a new plunge. So take a deep breath and dive on in. So today, I kind of want to go over small wins and how small wins matter. And if you don't believe that, stop doing them. And let's see how fast everything starts compiling and the chaos starts to happen. The laundry starts piling up, the grass not getting mowed gets tall, the smile on our kids' face when we're just sitting scrolling on our phone and not enjoying their company and time, the times with our spouse, the touch and the emotional contact we have with them starts to dwindle. So with this, guys, we all strive to have those perfect family moments, to look back and see the victories and the wins that we have put forth, with our family and our kids. And the story I kind of want to cover today, we had back on, it was Labor Day weekend. We had a spur of the moment trip with some friends. They wanted to do a camping trip. And more or less, it was just one of them weekends. It was very hectic for us. And there was really no true way around to do it. But me and Taryn, we both sat down. We kind of looked, we reviewed it. We found the few little small wins that we could give the kids. So we decided, let's go ahead and jump in. We'll give it a go. So long story short, I had the DJ that wedding that weekend. She had to do the coordination, and I was also working day turns. So Friday, I was off, so I, took the camper out to the campground, got it set up for them, for us. Came back home, we done the rehearsal, packed the kids back up, went to the campground that Friday night. Had a great evening with fellowship, just with the friends. I got a buddy. We play a lot of chess. So we just kicked back and we play some chess and just enjoyed the time together. That Saturday morning came. I got up that early morning, came back to the venue, got the building finalized, took care of the trash, put away some tables and chairs that need to be moved around, check the restrooms kind of thing, and then went back out to the campground. So we spent all Saturday, as much as we could out there. We came back home. My mom ended up watching the kids for us. So we, done the wedding. I done the DJ. She done the coordination part of it. And we were kind of both talking over at the venue. If we still have enough energy after the wedding, we'll pack the kids back up and head out to the campground so they can have breakfast in the morning, that Sunday morning. So we done the wedding. We finished up probably like 11:30 ish, almost midnight, get close to midnight. We went back over and was like, all right, let's go. We quickly packed up, took the kids to the campground. It's only like a 30-minute drive, so we got there, almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Went to bed. I had to get up about 4, just a few hours later, and come on out to work. Taryn, she got to wake the kids up, and honestly, the joy with them of just waking up and not having any clue where they were at was a big win for us. But again, for them, it's just a normal day that they are getting to be out, enjoy the fellowship with their friends. And so, was that tough? When did we have to fight and navigate? Yeah, it was. But the joy of letting them get those small wins with the friends, and just how fast time's moving by, we're fine with trying to navigate and let the kids have those. I forgot to start my timer. Be all right. So with those little wins, guys, continue to allow them to compound. Let them mold you, your life, your relationships, your future. Because even though they're small, as you do more and more of them, it's only going to continue to grow. And we all can look back in those parts of our childhood that were just so much fun. We don't know what our parents went through to get us to that point. As in, our kids won't know how that weekend was a pretty big struggle for both me and Taryn, and we're okay with that. As parents, we all want the best for our kids, and that was a realm for us to give them the best that we could that for that weekend. The fall is a busy season for us, and so we do our best to help with the kids on that. So your habits either move you closer to your goals or further away. These daily rituals and habits, guys, that it's kind of going with that small win stuff too. You start building, you start compounding and getting a routine in your life. It's going to push you further along. I'm a little extreme, guys. So I get up, I shoot for the 4:45 range. Usually I'll land right around that 5 range. I like to get up. I'll get a workout in. I'll do a meditation session. I utilize the sauna, and I try to do all this before the rest of the family's up. So that's allowing me to go ahead and start the day off with a quick win before they're awake and the chaos of just parents kicks into play. So guys, again, these rituals and habits, they don't have to be an extreme thing. You don't have to go the 4 o'clock, 4:45, the 5 o'clock realm. It might just be 5 minutes earlier. But I need you to find these small wins to start putting them into play with your rituals and your daily routine. It could be, swapping out a glass of pop for a glass of water, taking a walk with your spouse. Allow these to compound, again, kind of like with the small wins. So the product review I want to do today, it is the Power List by Andy Frisella. So with this Power List, guys, it's a great product for if anybody out there that is kind of like me, that's just tough to feel like you've accomplished. It's tough to wind down at the end of the day. This list will allow you to give yourself permission to slow down. You've completed, you've won the day, now slow down. So with this, the Power List, guys, so what it does, you put 5 topics, 5 habits that you're wanting to, critical habits that you want to get done for the day. Once you've completed them, you've won your day. So after that, it could be early in the morning, then you have the rest of the day. Technically, it is your day to utilize. So that list, it helped me so much, guys, just because where I am kind of a one gear individual, it's hard for me to wind down. And on that list, I had the gym. I've had the different pieces of just trying to grow daily, certain parts of the business on there. So it doesn't have to just be a business mindset. It could be something as much as just giving a phone call to somebody. So I just challenge you to check that out. Again, it's the Power List by Andy Frisella. It was a great product for me, and I'm sure it really helps some of y'all too. So your 20s, they aren't for coasting. They're for building, they're for failing, and they're for learning. So guys, I challenge anybody in their 20s to take that time to be willing to try new things. Don't be afraid to fail. This part of your life, guys, will probably be one of the slowest parts. You don't have a spouse. You more than likely don't have kids. Your responsibility load, for the most part, is really not too bad. So it's allowing you to take those chances, to be willing to fail, because you can rebound a lot easier than a dad with 2, 3, 4 kids. So focus in your 20s, grind in your 20s, because it's only going to continue to get harder, guys. So take that time, be willing to try, be willing to learn, be willing to fail, be willing to learn, be willing to try. This is that time, guys. Another key part, so when I mentor other men and women, the two key parts for me is I want you, once you figure out what you want to do, I want you to become a professional in it. I want you to get as much information, become as knowledgeable as you can in that realm. So when you're ready to pull the trigger, to give it a try, you've learned as much as you could. Now, I'm okay with it. Guys, there's so much content out there, so do it for free. You don't need to go do the seminars yet. You're still learning. Your money needs to be saved. So that second part, save your money. Find a way to start getting on a budget. So when you've got those reserves, when that time comes, you're ready to pull the trigger into a business. Those funds are there. They're ready to move, and they're ready to go to work for you. So going over swing shift and like eating habits. So I'm a shift worker. Each week's a different for me, from day turns to nights. The body truly doesn't know what it's doing most of the time, and this messes with everything. It messes with your energy, your sleep, your appetite, your all around just drive in general. So for me, when I was 228 pounds, kind of decided to get after that realm to lose the weight. Another part I utilized was intermittent fasting. So for me, I done 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. So that small window is when I was allowed to eat. Now again, I was still pulling those parts, the pop, the sugars, all that off the table while I was intermittent fasting too. But that intermittent fasting allowed me just to find some consistency in the hectic shift work life that other swing shift guys and women understand. So if you're interested, look into the intermittent fasting. It might not be for everybody, but it was a great part for me to try to find balance to continue my weight loss journey. So failing young, it's not losing, it's moving at full speed. Like I said, going back to grinding your 20s. You have the time to learn, you have the time to fail. So go after it, be willing to learn, be willing to fail. All too much people are so scared and not willing to even try just because of that fear of the failure, fear of friends making fun of them. Guys, that's okay. Put it to the side. Be willing to put yourself out there to learn new trades. A big factor too, look at people in their 30s, their 40s, 50s, 60s that have been there and done that. Utilize them. Look at them. See how they have done it. It's proof that it can be done. But you can also find areas that were pain points that they failed in that you hopefully can navigate around so you yourself don't fall down that trap hole. So guys, the failing, it's going to continue to build resilience for you. Because life, it's going to be tough. You got to have that tough skin to be able to handle these different realms. So guys, be willing to try, be willing to fail, learn, and then try again. Do not be afraid to try. Fail early and fail often. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in to the Plunge Cast. Until next time, stay grateful, continue to plunge. No clue where I'm at. Let's see. Oh, 14 minutes. All right, so let's put our arm on. Yeah, I forgot to set my timer. So it looks like I was like 14 and a half minutes. And, I try to do the 20 minutes. There's really no specific reason why. This just seems to, I get a really good deep chill in the body. these last few minutes are really tough. So it really pushes my mind to another level to just to grind through and grit through. And guys, check out the cold plunging. It's an interesting topic. Um, I mean, you can even go as far so like in the summertime, I would actually getting off work, I'd leave the windows up. I wouldn't turn the AC on. I'm already usually sweaty and nasty from the work day, so I just allowed I allowed myself to get even sweatier. So I kind of utilized that drive home as a sauna time. I've got about a 15-minute drive, and the dead of the heat, it would work you over for sure. But let me know what y'all think about this. I've enjoyed having the conversations. Um, Again, the cold plunging, it's kind of helped me get through the pain a little bit, to not just dwell on it, to kind of have the conversation and talk. I've got the 5 topics. I think it's a pretty good amount. I'm trying to cover the basis of my life, of what's helped push me through things. So I'd love to know what your opinions are and what you'd like to hear. I'd love to eventually put another tub up here and actually do an interviewed concept, but that will probably be a little bit in the future. I've even thought, doing a cold plunge on one side and have like a one of those blow up hot tubs on the other. So it's still a plunge cast, but I'm gonna kind of give the interviewee um, the option if they want a cold or hot. So again, guys, I'm just kind of gonna have some fun with this and try to give you all some information while I get my cold plunge in for the day. So Halloween's almost here. So in that, I've got my Ninja Turtle mug. Oh, a little hit of warm coffee sounds pretty nice. Hmm. Oh, 20 minutes seems like it takes forever. 30 more seconds. It should be right at 20 minutes. I'm very jealous of the view. I get to see it in the camera. I'm looking at a hillside. All right, that should be pretty close to 20.